I'm going to take it. All of our way to Murphy's, Texas. folks up in the morning, right? Get some breakfast ready for us? Yeah, it's just an old fish camp. The guys that own it, they come here on the weekend, we'll stay away from it. We don't want to bother them, you know?
Yeah.
But on the weekdays, we'll come by and keep an eye on it, because it's also got access by regular water boat from the canal behind us. But they got some really cool trees in there. Now, one of my bucket lists to do things is to go see them great big old trees out in California. Anybody ever seen them?
No.
They got roads that go through them, the sequoias.
Oh.
Now, these are called cypress trees here to the right. These are native to Florida. We got 3 types that grow here in the Everglades. The pond cypress, the bald cypress, which these are, and then we have the dwarf cypress. Now, our old growth cypress were logged off in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The wood was very sought after because they didn't have pressure-treated lumber in those days. The wood is waterproof, it's bug-resistant, and the trees go really, really straight. Now, I've been doing some studies, some research on them. YouTube is a tour guide gold mine. But I watched a documentary on there called Florida Giants. And I learned that our old growth cypress trees were already grown trees before the sequoias ever sprouted. 4,000 or 5,000 years old. There was one that the guys were cutting down. It was 5 grown men. The base of it was probably 25 feet around. Gigantic. And as it fell, the narrator stated that was a grown tree when Jesus Christ was born. That's how old it is.
Wow.
You know? But they're protected now. You can't even drive a nail in one. Now, if you look underneath the dock there, you see all the little stumps sticking up?
Mm-hmm.
Those are called cypress knees. They're not part of the, they're actually part of the root. That when the roots get submerged, that's how they breathe, through those cypress knees.
Yeah.
And they're also one of the only trees in South Florida that loses leaves in the fall. That's another bucket list thing, to go see the trees change one summer. I've never seen that. Would anybody like a cold water?
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Want one, buddy? Here you go, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's go cruise around behind the canal, see what's back there.
Think there's any crocodiles out today?
Not
or
crocodiles. Crocodiles are further south, where I come from.
Gators?
What's that?
Any gators? Any?
These are gators, yeah.
Okay.
We've been seeing a bunch, but you know, they are wild animals.
Yeah.
Yesterday, about this time, a guy caught a peacock that long, man. A humongous one. Right over underneath them holly trees.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good day. Probably around 5 years old, 6 years old maybe. But they have a really, really slow metabolism, so they try to conserve their energy, but to use the least amount as possible. But they have a lot of power and bursts. Now, when they're lying like that on the land or in the water cruising along, they can do what's called a tail walk and jump about 6 feet. That's 2 meters up into the air.
Whoa.
Yeah, man, that's why I sit way up here. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can get closer enough. one of our native turtles.
Oh,
This is called, let's see, that's the red belly slider. We also have a yellow belly slider. They look the same.
nice.
He's in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's got some, you grab him up here like this and turn him upside the boat. Man, he's got some claws that'll get you. Look at him.
He's not a snapper.
Yeah, he'll bite.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's not a snapping turtle. No, they're called a yellow belly slider. Another one looks just like it out here, but it's called a yellow belly slider. This is the red belly. Now, alligators love them. This one don't have any scars on him yet. But the way alligators got about 1,400 pounds per square inch of crushing power. But the way their shells are shaped, it's hard for them to get a bite on them. But if they can get it bound up, they can crush it. But you'll see them all the time with teeth marks across them. Pretty cool creatures. Now we also have the soft-shell turtle. Did you get a picture of those? The soft-shell turtle, which the females of that species get gigantic. The males don't get much bigger than that one. And the biggest female soft-shell I ever seen, she was about this big around. Her shell. You wouldn't believe how good they are to eat.
Yeah.
I used to be a big hunter. I ate just about everything out here in the Everglades, but you know, you get older, I got soft. My girlfriend turned me into a gigantic sissy. And you know, they allow you to take 2, but off of, say, a 25-pound one, you might get 5 pounds of meat. So it's not worth it. You know, I don't justify killing a 30-pound, 25, 30-pound animal for 5 pounds of meat. I don't care how good it is. All right, let's try this.
I don't know how you saw him.
What's that?
I don't know how you saw him.
Well, it was too shallow for his shell to get underwater.
Oh.
nest right here where this little finger of water is. There she is, right there. I found her about the second week of June. Now their mating season is the whole month of May. And by the 1st of June or so, the first 2 weeks of June, they'll start building their nest. Now what they do is, they pile up a bunch of organic material, grass, leaves, twigs. They make like a compost pile, and they'll lay their eggs inside there. Now they can lay anywhere from 30 to 60 eggs at a time. And when they cover them up with the compost, it helps incubate them. So if the eggs get to like 90, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, they'll all hatch out as little boys. Down around 80, 83, they'll be little girls. And if it falls in between those temperatures, they'll be mixed. Now the females guard their nest and their young fiercely. Come here, Mama. She has, when her eggs hatched out, you'll see she's missing the tip of her tail. A big male came in here and he killed all of her babies. They must have all been males. If a big male comes in and she's got a lot of males in her clutch, he'll kill all the males. But she fought him off. She had a big scar on her shoulder and was missing the tip of her tail. But when I first found it, the water was a lot lower. You couldn't even come up in here. There was just water in that trail right there. And the trails, they're about waist deep, maybe up to your chest. But I could walk around here. It was more solid, and her nest was right there. She'd come up and hiss and growl and get on the nest. They just try to scare you, but if you go and get in the nest, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But she was a mean one when she had the nest. So I call her Leanne because that's my girlfriend's name, and she's mean too. But they're cold-blooded creatures. So you see these on their back?
Yeah.
These are called osteoderms. They're like little solar panels. We call them scoots. That ridge bone connects to a flat bone. See, they stop right about the midways of her tail. It's got little voids and grooves in it that blood flows through, and it flows between the bone and skin, and that's how they get their warmth. Now, they get up to around 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 85 degrees Fahrenheit. They'll get back down in the water. They'll get up in the shade. When it's real cool out, they'll just open their mouth on them. They try to maintain that temperature till nightfall. She'll get that camera.
Yeah, she likes that.
Once they get up to about 80, 85, they'll try to cool down. They try to maintain that temperature till nightfall. But they're the only member of the crocodilian family that's not rooted in the tropics. They've been found as far north as Arkansas. And they live in most of the southern states that get below freezing every winter. So if the air temperature starts dropping and it gets around, lower than 50 or 55 degrees and stays that way, they'll go into a hibernation, kind of like what frogs and turtles do where it gets cold. Now she's about maybe 10 years old.
10 years old.
Yeah.
What was the biggest that you've seen here?
The biggest one I've seen here, hopefully he's in the pond. He's hiding right now, but we call him Grandpa. He's about 13 foot. The biggest one I ever saw was his back was about as half as wide as the front of the boat is.
Wow.
So I figure he was at least 14 feet. Now they can live to be 60, 65 years old, maybe 70 on average. But if they've got the right habitat, like on a farm, or they've got plenty of places real secluded, I'm sure in Everglades National Park and some of the areas, the real remote areas, they can live to be over 100.
Wow.
But they never stop growing throughout their entire life, from the time they hatch till the time they die.
But the population is going up or down?
No, they're way up. When I was, I don't know, when I was 10, 12 years old, not even that, maybe 5 or 6, 7, when I started coming to the Everglades and Dad started bringing me, they were still on the endangered species list. You couldn't find them hardly.
Oh, really?
Now they estimate, and I don't know who counts them, but they estimate there's over 500,000 just in the Everglades.
Wow.
And like 1.5 million throughout the state.
Yeah.
But
as you said, the death rate of the small one is pretty high, probably, right?
Well, if 30 eggs hatch, maybe 3 to 5 will make it to be adults. But when you grow up around them, you take it for granted. They were always in the way. They'll ruin your fishing hole if they swim up in it. If you are a hunter and you have game hanging, they'll try to get it. And when I was a young man, I killed hundreds of them in everlasting shame.
Okay.
When I became a guide about 12, 15 years ago, people ask me, you got to start reading about them. You got to start studying and answer people's questions. I grew up around them. I didn't know nothing about them. I just known they were big and ugly. But I've got a whole different perspective now. They're amazing creatures, man. Amazing. I wouldn't hurt one for nothing unless they was trying to get us. But as long as you give them their space and don't bother, never, ever swim at nighttime. That's what all the attacks in Florida have been at night. It's a big thing now for the fishermen to get out and release their catch in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy in Flamingo got it. He got attacked by one. Got his arm. They really don't want nothing to do with people unless you antagonize them. They don't. They just want to get out of your way. That's a dinosaur you're looking at. They've been on the earth for 150 million years. They've been crocodiles. Now we do have we're the only state in the United States that have crocodiles. The American crocodile. Now, when I was a young kid, there was only about 300 or 400 of them left. Now they're in the thousands. If you ever get a chance to go down to the Keys, instead of taking the main road in, US 1, right when you come out of Florida City, that's the town I live in. It's the last town on the mainland before you get to Key Largo. You'll see a sign that says Card Sound Road. It's a little 2-lane road. That's the old road to Key Largo. You take that road all the way and it goes through the American Crocodile Wildlife Refuge. You look in the canal as you're going by in the afternoon or in the morning, you'll see them in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But they also live in the salty water or not?
Alligators don't.
But crocodiles.
Now the Everglades, I grew up in the southern Everglades. Before you get to the Keys, that's the only place on the planet where crocodiles and alligators live together. They don't coexist. I mean, they don't intermingle. They just coexist.
Yeah.
But this is all, like I said, this is a giant river, and it flows about 100 feet a day. Very, very, very slow.
Yeah.
But continues traveling southward for about 100 miles, where it starts mixing with the saltwater Florida Bay, and it creates brackish water for several miles. Now, alligators can live in brackish water because it's mostly fresh. Salt water will kill them in a few days.
Yeah.
You can see his nostrils opening and
crocodiles will come up into the fresh water sometimes, You know, like after a storm or something, they'll get discombobulated and end up in the alligators happen too, or they end up in the saltwater.
Do they meet somewhere in with these manatees? Or
What's that?
The manatees. That in the Crystal River, there's like manatees.
Manatees?
Manatees.
Yeah.
Do they meet together in the water? or something?
No. They won't fool
separate.
with a manatee. It's too big.
Okay.
They like I was telling you, they got a slow metabolism. If they know something's too big, they're not going to fool with it.
Okay. So
Unless
they can coexist with that, such as big creatures, right?
What's that?
They can coexist somehow with them,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. Now the biggest one ever taken,
Yeah.
they say I've read, was in Louisiana. It was almost 19 feet long. All right, Mama. Now their main staple is fish, but they'll eat just about anything made out of meat. We have about 300 different species of fish here in the Everglades, and 85% of them are invasive.
Why did she come to us?
She thinks she's getting a treat. She thinks she's getting a treat. It's illegal to feed them. Somebody feeds her. That's why she
Okay.
comes out like that.
Okay.
But in actuality, she just loves me. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
had a pleasure taking you out on the boat. But you know what a treat it is where everybody speaks English. It's a real treat.
Just a little. Some of
It's
us.
real good, man. You speak it a lot better than a lot of people like it. Now, do me one favor, guys. Please stay in your seats for me until I get the boat tied up. Okay? Thanks again for coming out.
Nice. Driving.
Yeah, not bad for the first day, is it? Oh, thanks, sir. I appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Did you
Thank
say
so much.
Bucky?
What's
Name
that?
was
Trucky.
Trucky.
Trucky with a T, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, where you guys headed now?
We're here for a week. Not sure yet.
You gotta go to the Keys one day.
Gotta go to the Keys.
Key Largo, yeah, even if you just get in Alamorada, there's a place in Alamorada called Robbie's Marina. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And the food's not really good there, but you can buy a $4 bucket of fish and feed a fish called a tarpon longer than that chair right there, right off the dock. They'll come right up and get out of your hand.
Yeah, really?
It's something else.
Can I have one more water?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it was great.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
If you folks are into doing reviews,
Yeah.
and you get on TripAdvisor, Google, write a
For
good,
sure.
make sure you put my name in it, Trucky, so the boss knows it's me. And I'm doing my job.
Will do.
I will underline that it was like the semi-private tour, right?
Yeah,
Very private.
yeah.
I would say.
Do you mind if I put it on YouTube?
Not at all.
I'll mention your name.
No problem.
During this high season, it must be crowded here, right?
What's that?
During the summer, you know, like there is a high season probably, so there are a lot of boats, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when the water starts dropping even lower, it gets below those banks, it traps the fish in here. Man, they have bass tournaments and stuff. And when we have to go down that canal, we got to slow down for the boats. You know, brother, it takes 10 minutes to get to the pond sometimes. But over here, we can get out of the boat. Down over there, we got to go all down the canal a long way and then cut in. Because of the rocks. They dug these canals to build 75.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Artificial.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, all the canals are handled by